DMG04 writes, "Hey all, we are aware of the strong desire from players for Pursuit weapons to return for Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit. Speaking with the team, they are candidates for future weapon allocation in a future season. Note, can't make any promises yet. It's a tricky balancing act, as Pursuit weapons could come at the cost of general reward allocation for alternate activities, legendary weapons for trials as an example. We'll be sure to let you know our future plans when we have more information." Whoa, hold on. Back the fun bus back the fuck up. What kind of bullshit is this?
Too hard for us to do. The tools that we work with are really hard to deal with. It's hard for us to make this much content. It's just hard making content in general.
It's sad just how much unironic use I'm getting out of that this week. Okay, what's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, Joker back again, once again, and today, people, so, correct me if I'm wrong, like that'll ever happen.
I am Nostradamus, the voice of God.
But, did the community manager just state that the reason that we didn't get new Pursuit weapons was because they had to import a bunch of reskinned weapons from Destiny 1 for Trials of Osiris, a mode that they've arguably been working on for nigh on the better part of a year, which was, to be fair, just copy and pasted from Destiny 1 as well. With a couple of updates, a couple of good updates, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, all Trials is largely copy and pasted from Destiny 1, and they somehow, someway couldn't make 3 weapons. Do I even need to say any more than that? Like, like, subscribe, donate to my Patreon if you're feeling generous, but above all else, stay frosty, roll credits. Okay, we won't do that. So, Destiny is a looter shooter, ... The entire point of the game is looting and gasp, shock, surprise, shooting, ... I know, I could have fooled all of you. It was Destiny, a looter shooter. The shooting only matters because of the looting, and the looting only matters because of the shooting. If there was no looting and there's no shooting, then none of it matters. Because without the looting in a looter shooter, we might as well be playing Halo. I think this all should be fairly obvious to at least anyone with tepid activity in the frontal cortex, but apparently Bungie didn't get the memo.
There will be a ton of loot! Yeah, right? That's what I thought.
Because the only thing that consistently gets good loot updates is the cash shop. Now, last year we were told that the Whisper skins paid for the 0-hour mission. So, inherently, the cash shop isn't a bad thing. And I'll go back to that quote from Luke Smith's pre-Shadowkeep Director's Cut, Part 1. Quote, "Last year we thought long and hard about Eververse and how we wanted to change the strategy around microtransactions in Destiny. As some folks have smartly pointed out, MTX is a big part of our business being a live game. I'm not going to say MTX funds the studio or pays for projects like Shadowkeep. It doesn't wholly fund either of those things, but it does help fund ongoing development of Destiny 2 and allows us to fund creative efforts we otherwise couldn't afford. For example, Whisper of the Worm's ornaments were successful enough that it paid, dev cost-wise, for the 0-hour mission/rewards to be constructed. This shit matters." So now you're telling me that the entirety of the cash shop, somehow, someway, through some Herculean leap in logic that us mere mortals will never be able to comprehend, can't fund more than a handful of weapons that are, need I remind you, released alongside or as part of paid DLC. Remember in 2019, Destiny 2 had an estimated $300 million in digital revenue alone. Mind you, the commitment from Activision for the development of Destiny over 10 years was $500 million. Now, I'm not saying the $300 million went right back into game development. It didn't. People have to get paid, there's bonuses, there's 401ks, there's insurance, there's utilities, there's general upkeep, all of that shit. But wasn't that true with the $500 million as well? So $500 million over 10 years for all of that versus $300 million in 1 year. All I'm saying is more and more Bungie continues the long trend of having a fully fleshed out cash shop and only bare minimum and meager offerings for loot to actually chase in the game. The problem with this, of course, isn't that the cash shop exists. Look, I get it. If you build it, people will buy. Fine, fair enough. I don't begrudge them. There is absolutely no sense in leaving money on the table. The issue with that is we consistently see its offerings outstrip and spank what's offered in the game, what's offered to paying fucking customers. And now we're told that the dev team had to choose between pursuit weapons and the reskinning of Trials of Osiris gear from Destiny 1. Look, and I know I'm saying that a lot this video, I'm just kind of dumbfounded over this, but look, I'm not gonna claim to know I know how Bungie's design teams are split up, but the evidence suggests that far more importance is being placed on the cash shop than the actual game. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. That is absolutely, positively, categorically, in no uncertain terms, not healthy for the state of the game, and totally unacceptable. And even if I don't know the inner workings of Bungie, what I will say is what I think the evidence shows. Christopher Barrett is no longer the head of the Sustain or Live team. It looks like for his damn fine work when it came to helping save Destiny time and time and time and time and time again, he was made game director of something else. His Twitter bio currently says that he is the game director of Redacted. So it's either whatever is Nextiny, be it an expansion or Destiny 3, or Bungie's new IP, Matter. And you know what? Good on him. Like I said, he's more than earned it, and congratulations on the promotion. And regardless of whatever my opinion on the current state of Destiny might be, he's at least earned my cautious optimism on whatever he does next. That said, the Live team or the Sustain team or whatever the fuck it's called is currently sailing without the best damn captain they've ever had. That said, if just the Whisper skins can pay for the dev cost of the 0-hour mission, one must wonder what the total cost of the cash shop is paying for currently, alongside the paid DLC. More so when we know that in 2019, Destiny 2 earned $300 million in digital revenue. If we take these two pieces of evidence and we look at the state of the game, I think the answer becomes clear. Bungie is clearly making more than enough money to support this game and continue its development. I think anyone in doubt of that is in abject denial of reality. They have at least 500 employees on the payroll, and they're working on 2 IPs at the same time. One funded by their new Chinese overlords. And speaking of Chinese overlords, it was announced on June 1st of 2018 that Chinese publisher NetEase invested $100 million plus into Bungie, a transaction that just so happened to gain them a minority stake in Bungie and a seat on its board of directors. Now I wonder, just what sort of games does NetEase publish? Let's go ahead and take a look at their game library. Well, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, that explains more than a few things. A Chinese publisher gains a minority stake in Bungie and a seat on its board of directors. Then suddenly, out of the blue, randomly one day, Destiny becomes, air quote, free to play. And it's filled to the brim with microtransactions. I wonder how that happened. The world may never know. So if we take the departure of Christopher Barrett from the Live or the Sustain team or whatever it's called, then we look at what Bungie was able to do in the past with other cash shop items. Then we look at what they've allegedly made in the year of 2019 through digital revenue. Then we take into account NetEase, their investment in Bungie, and their seat on the board of directors. And then we take into account their history as a publisher. Then we look at the current state of the game, and you have the recipe for a shitstorm. Take that shitstorm and add the fact that apparently, according to DMG04, they don't have enough manpower currently working on the season pass of Destiny 2 to make cash shop items, to reskin Trials weapons, and to make pursuit weapons. I think it becomes more and more apparent that the current iteration of Destiny 2 and its season pass is not Bungie's priority. The game is on life support. I don't think they have an issue with funding. I don't think they have an issue with manpower even. just how much manpower they're willing to devote to Destiny 2. Bungie's focus is the cash shop. If that wasn't crystal clear before, it should be now. The cash shop does not exist to serve sustaining Destiny. The Season Pass model exists to serve the cash shop. And you can mark my words, the only way that this will ever change is if the cash shop becomes unprofitable. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Remember to like, but only if you did, subscribe for more content, and hit that notification bell because just subscribing isn't enough for the tubes of the U. Donate to my Patreon if you are feeling generous, it really helps the channel out. But like always, stay frosty.